A revolution in transportation. The revolution in transportation led to dramatic social and economic changes. The National Road was the only federally funded transportation project of its time, but states, localities, and private businesses constructed roads. The construction of thousands of miles of canals and transport and travel by steamboat helped increase trade and grow the economy. The development of trains in the early 1800s helped settle the West, stimulate trade, and increase coal production. Transportation Revolution 1810-1840. These are the roads that were built during those 30 years. The Erie Canal near Lake Ontario, and the other canals in the northern part of the U.S. territory. Technology and history. New technologies developed in the North revolutionized transportation and communications and helped begin the transportation of the United States from an agricultural to an industrial nation. The steamboat. Paddle-wheeled steamboats, such as Robert Fulton's Clermont, made river travel easier and more reliable. The Tom-Thumb was the first American locomotive. Railroads transformed the nation, allowing people and goods to move quickly from city to city and helping to encourage settlement in the West. The water frame. The water frame allowed cotton fibers to be easily spun into cotton thread. Sewing machines. By the mid-1840s, mass-produced cloth could be sewn into mass-produced clothing with sewing machines, invented by Elias Howe. The telegraph. The first modern breakthrough in communications was the telegraph and the Morse code. Suddenly, news and other information could be tapped out on telegraph keys and sent over long distances of wire nearly instantly. The cotton gin. Invented in 1793 by Eli Whitney, the cotton gin separated the seeds from balls of cotton, allowing cotton to be produced quickly in mass quantities. Cotton balls are dumped into the hopper. Slots in the grate allow cotton to pass, but not the seeds. Brushes pull the cotton off the cylinder and out of the gin. A crank turns a cylinder that has wire teeth. The teeth pull the cotton past a grate. A new system of production. The American free enterprise system allowed individuals to make money and decide how to use it without strict government controls, encouraging innovation. A wave of inventions and technological innovations further spurred industrial growth. Industrialization drew people to urban areas in search of factory jobs, with higher wages greatly increasing the population of cities. Factory workers began to organize unions to collectively bargain for higher wages, better working conditions, and shorter hours. Lowell Mills, primary source. In 1846, a visitor to the Lowell Mills described the employees' work schedule. The operatives worked 13 hours a day in the summertime, and from daylight to dark in the winter. At 4:30 in the morning, the factory bell rings, and at 5, the girls must be in the mills. At 7, the girls are allowed 30 minutes for breakfast, and at noon, 30 minutes more for dinner. But within this time, they must hurry to the boarding houses and return to the factory. At 7 o'clock in the evening, the factory bell sounds the close of the day's work. So fatigued are numbers of the girls that they go to bed soon after the evening meal and endeavor to resuscitate their weakened frames for the toils of the coming day. From the Harbinger, November 14, 1846. Power looms such as this one were powered by a steam engine. The loom mechanically wove threads to make cloth. The power loom's relative ease of use compared to manual looms led to women replacing men as factory weavers. Even though the looms were easier to operate, the female operators worked long hours for very little pay. Life in the North. The population of cities began to increase, resulting in crime, overcrowding, and public health problems. Men of all social classes worked outside the home, while poor women worked as servants, factory workers, or took in work that could be done in the home. Northern cities became havens for runaway enslaved people as well as free African Americans, but most African Americans remained poor. Even though industries and cities expanded in the Northeast, agriculture remained the country's leading economic activity. County election. Upper class made $75,000 or more, and they represented 1% of the population. Upper middle class made $30,000 to $75,000. They represented 3% of the population. Middle class, $5,000 to $30,000, and they represented 10% of the people. Most citizens made under $5,000 and represented 86% of the people. In 1833, most people in the Northeast were farmers who made a moderate or low income. Wealthy businessmen and other upper-class men voting. We're referring to the county. This is a picture of the county election. Farmers are here waiting at the courthouse to vote. Children are displayed playing in front of the courthouse while adult men vote, add to the festive atmosphere.